Hearing is something you and I take for granted every day. Without it, we wouldn't be able to communicate with people as easy, listen to our favourite songs, or even provide awareness of our surrounding environments. This is Faye. Faye has internal ear damage, which results in deafness. For 10 years now, she has used a cochlear implant as a treatment. However, in the recent months, her life has changed drastically. Advancements in cochlear technology, she is able to access her mobile device without even reaching in her bag, through Bluetooth and Wi-Fi communication, which is a novel development in physiology and the cochlear industry. This assists in elderly users, or anyone who just uses cochlear implants, increasing the quality drastically, as interpreting sound is used via direct digital signal, whereas before you would hold the mobile device near the external sound processor. Today I will talk to you about how the ear works, who benefits from the cochlear implant, why do people use the cochlear implant, and how the cochlear implant works. Here we have how the ear works. There are three parts to the ear: the outer, middle, and inner. Sound reaches the outer first, where sound hits the pinna and travels through the auditory canal, which is around 2.5 centimeters long. When it then hits your eardrum, or also known as the tympanic membrane. The tympanic membrane vibrates accordingly directly according to the pitch of sound. Next, we reach the middle ear. The middle ear, as we know before, from the tympanic membrane vibrating, hits the auditory ossicles, where it hits the malleus, incus, and stapes, which press forward against the oval window to provide amplification, because as if you know, if someone was talking to you from afar, you need sound amplified in order to just interpret the sound. And then past the anterior wall to the eustachian tube, which protects the middle ear from pressure changes and loud noises, which was opposite to hearing that person from afar. Next, I will talk to you about the middle ear, the inner ear. The inner ear has two divisions: the bony labyrinth, containing perilymph, and the membranous labyrinth, containing endolymph. Both perilymph and endolymph conduct sound vibrations involved in hearing. The bony labyrinth contains three parts: the semicircular canals, the vestibule, which contains receptors for equilibrium, and crucially what I will speak about is the cochlea. The cochlea contains the organ of Corti, which is your hearing receptor resting on the basilar membrane. It contains around, this spiral organ contains around 3,500 inner hair cells and 20,000 outer hair cells. These hair cells physically open ion channels and stimulate nerve 8, which sends impulses to the brain, so sends information to the brain. Inner hair cells transfer the mechanical energy, which open potassium channels, into electrical energy and act as afferent fibers to the brain, whereas the outer hair cells receive information from the brain. And outer hair cells, when distorted by fluid, shorten in length and adjust to the response from that information sent from the brain. Each hair cell contains stereocilia, which then connects into endolymph. What is a cochlear implant? This implant replaces the work of the damaged parts of the cochlea, which inhibit sounds reaching from the brain. And if you have damage to the middle or inner, can become really helpful in understanding and interpreting that sound. As I was saying before, why do people need these cochlear implants? If they have hearing loss in one or both of their ears, if they just have damage to the middle or inner, but still have a functional auditory nerve, the cochlear implant can be used. Now I will describe to you the parts of the cochlea and what each part does. We have the external processor, and then we have the internal implant, which is a speech processor. Here is a diagram about how the cochlear implant works. We have that external speech processor, which hooks around the ear, which receives sound and acts as a sort of microphone, which then converts sound into electrical energy. And then we have the internal implant, which is surgically implanted. And then that internal implant, through number 3 here, connects into the organ of cochlear, which then stimulates that auditory nerve and results in sending information to the brain. Here we have some differences between other devices. Cochlear implants, as I said before, are for people with hearing loss and damage to the inner and inner ear, such as fade from our article, but still have that functional auditory nerve. Whereas people with hearing aids can still hear, but do not have that aren't completely deaf and have hearing loss.